All right. These are announcements on the campaign. This hopefully won't be too long. I keep thinking each month I won't have to do this in addition, but too many things keep coming up. So the first announcement, I'm going to have this up on YouTube on Sunday. If you're in Australia, you have one more day to sign the petition. I'll have a link to it on YouTube. Then we have a lot of waiting, as I understand it. So, yeah, one day left for Australia. So that gets priority. Second, I've been contacted by a lot of people on this. If you submitted a complaint to the DGCCRF on the crew especially, and then you got a response back from Ubisoft saying, yeah, we shut the game down, and then there's a notice saying like, oh, is this response satisfactory? Just click no. I think what's happening is if you chose to share the information with Ubisoft, then you get that message. If you didn't choose to share that, I think you don't get that message. Either way, I think it doesn't matter because the complaint is being processed in parallel by the DGCCRF. So you don't really have to worry about that too much. Anything Ubisoft is going to say is going to be useless anyway. So that's just to show that you're trying to resolve it through the company, which, again, it's pointless, but it's part of the procedure. So, more announcements. This one's going to be odd because I don't know how much I can say on this yet, but there will be a big announcement on the status of things in the European Union on, I believe, the 27th, I think the last Monday of this month. And I don't know if it's going to be positive or negative, but we are going to get big answers, is my understanding. I'm coordinating this with the European Member of Parliament, actually. So the way I explained this to my wife was this would be like in a video game. If there's like a shortcut you can take to get straight to the final boss and miss 90% of the game, that's kind of what we've done here for the European Union. So I don't know if I can say more than that at this point, but just check back then. I will have some sort of video out then. And yeah, actually the politician was hoping to get, this is Nicholas Ninas. He was hoping to get like a bunch of streamers and games media or news media to cover this also. I'm trying to explain to him, I don't know if I have that kind of pull, but usually all the biggest publicity I've gotten is I make a video explaining something and then somebody else bigger picks it up or a news agency picks it up. So it may not work how he wants, but we will get exposure. So, let's see. Oh yeah, the UK, there's some news. It turns out the response from the UK petition was so bad, the petitions committee has stepped in and they're asking government again to give us a new response because chunks of that response didn't even address what we were talking about. Or they were answering a question we weren't even asking. So fingers crossed we can get more of a real response, though I'm not holding my breath on that. However, I think they gave us some ammunition in the first response. And on that note, we're still trying to figure out how to proceed. However, our working theory, it's looking likely we are going to be able to file complaints in the UK after all. But we're still trying to verify things the best we can. And trying to verify things the best we can. But our working plan right now is, it looks like this could easily change, but our best interpretation right now, based off feedback from the last video, is you will be able to file a complaint to the CMA in the UK. I forget what it stands for. They have a form for that. However, it'll probably only be for like late buyers, where if you bought the game and then it shut down within 3 years, then you can probably file a complaint. But that'll be any game, any online only game, so not just the crew. So yeah, if you want to help with that, find out what all the biggest game shutdowns were in the past 3 years. Yeah, maybe you can email me on that, rosswscott@gmail.com. And we'll try to, form guides on like the top 10 or something like that. And then explain the general process for any others we don't get. So and we're going to have to structure this guide because this will have to be a very kind of targeted complaint saying, hey, they never told me how long the game was going to last until a couple months before a shutdown. So when I bought this, I was uninformed, basically. Again, we kind of have to do a little dance to make this work in the UK, but that's the plan right now. And if you think that's all wrong, you can email me also because we're still trying to figure it out. That's honestly been one of the hardest parts is figure out how to report this and who qualifies. But yeah, if you owned a game that shut down in the past 3 years from when you bought it, it sounds like you qualify. It could be more people qualify, but we're not sure. But yeah, we're in contact. Was it Competition and Markets Authority or something like that? The CMA is that's our leading plan for this. So we're not going to put up the guides until we're pretty sure. But yeah, stay tuned for that in like the next week or two, I think. But yeah, we'll see what the revised petition says. Though again, I'm not holding my breath. And like, oh yeah, I'm noticing there were a whole lot of comments where I guess people like missed parts of the video where I was saying that, I'm not expecting a world of difference if we reach 100K, but what might happen is more things emerge that we weren't expecting, kind of like what happened with 10K. So then other people reach out or this makes news and then somebody sees that news and then they reach out to the campaign of something else we can do. Because that's pretty much exactly what happened with the 10K. So it's kind of a different milestone. I'm not resting all my hopes on changing the law in the UK because the petition reads 100K. So some people were confused about that. I'm prepared for everything to go down in flames in the UK. That's why we're also doing things in the European Union and Australia and even outside of the EU, well, not outside, but within the EU in Germany and France. So I did this campaign expecting not everything would work. But hopefully with enough different avenues, things will work. And I think that's all I have for the campaign announcements. So I'm going to stop that and just do the regular chats.